'Twas hot as balls when I finally figured out how to handle the pool. This is what the pool looked like when we uncovered it, and we covered it late for the season. So step one, cover your pool on time. It had leaves, sticks. I put shock, HTH, shock, which is essentially flocculant, which led us to see the flower pot and the duck egg. Again, cover on time. You're gonna need to add a lot of water to your pool before you add that chemical. You wanna brush the walls, brush everything. Then you shut off your equipment. Basically, you follow the instructions on the box. This is me vacuuming to waste. It's incredibly satisfying. The flocculant makes everything drop to the bottom, so it kills the algae, and you're just vacuuming it to waste out of the waste hose. You can direct that hose wherever you want. Boom, add your chemicals, and you're good. You're Gucci. Let me see y'all name these flags in the comments. And so we did have to hire a pool guy because we ended up getting algae again. We're like, dude, is our equipment working? Had to shock it green to blue again because it was green. And you know you're supposed to shock your pool every week. You don't have to use HTH green to blue. You can just use regular shock. But regular shock made our pool, it was cloudy. Pool guy comes, checks our equipment, says everything is good. He's like, yeah, it's cloudy. Then he proceeds to put his hand in the water and drink it. And he's like, if you swim in the ocean, you can swim in this. It's fine. I'm like, what? So, of course, I did HTH green to blue again. And I'm like, all right, there's my flock. That was about 16 hours. This is it. Finally hitting the bottom, and there I am vacuuming again to waste. So again, I started researching, and it's really trial and error. Even from connecting the hose to vacuum, I had to close off one of the drain pipes. That way I could get better suction. I was even attaching the hose the wrong way. It was really trial and error. But we got it again, clean, and I researched some more because my chlorine and my stabilizer is always low. So I was always using liquid chlorine and then just like these pucks, just like 2 pucks. Vacuuming to waste was getting rid of all my stabilizer chemicals, getting rid of all the water, and I'm having to add more stabilizer. So that's what I did. I added more stabilizer, got the stabilizer up, and I can actually vacuum to filter mode. So this is what it looked like, after shocking it and everything. I'm like, well, there's algae, and this guy's talking about I could swim in this. Imagine having guests over with a pool like this. So the first thing I did was backwash so I could clean my filter out. I want to backwash until the water coming through the tube is clear. Then you want to rinse after you backwash. So I'm switching the gear. So every single time you backwash, you are going to rinse afterwards. And I always forget to open both drains. Make sure they're both open, because I was going to vacuum to waste, but after my research that I found I could vacuum to filter, everything's got to be right. So I'm checking this little thingy. Everything is, you're lucky I didn't call everything a thing, okay? I'm Puerto Rican. It's clear. That means the water in my filter is clear. That means when I vacuum to filter, it's actually going to filter that algae through the sand. This is a sand filter. That's what it's for. I don't need to vacuum to waste every time. Now I'm going to just recycle my water, keep my chemicals correct, and that's going to get my chlorine to last. Use lots of chlorine pucks. They have cyanuric acid, unlike the liquid, so it lasts. Before you ever switch any gauge, I don't know what to call them things, the gauges, you want to turn off that equipment first. So it's in filter mode, even though it's peeled off there, that says filter. Then I'm going to turn it back on and run. And I thought I recorded myself vacuuming to filter, but I did not. What I did was vacuum to filter, then I checked the jets, water was clear. Yay! Now the hose doesn't reach that far corner. I could either attach the hose to the other skimmer box, be closer, and vacuum not to filter, but what I decided to do was just brush it towards the skimmer box, and it was still clear. That was a decent amount of algae, so I could go back and backwash the filter again and then rinse, or I could just look in that clear little plastic tube thingy and see how the water's looking from there, and then that way to make sure that my pool is filtering correct. Here's another trick of just when you're trying to add that stabilizer to make sure that it solves. I saw this trick on TikTok where you're just adding it into the sock and putting it in front of the jet, and you can see it just dissolving right there in front of your eyes. So here's the steps. 1. Cover on time. 2. Add green to blue shock when opening the pool. Make sure you have enough water in the pool to lose a lot of water in the pool. Brush the entire pool. Read the directions on the box. You're going to have to turn off your equipment. And then about 24 to 48 hours later, that's when you're going to vacuum to waste. The one I use is HTH. There's different kinds. It's flocculent. 3. Add your chemicals. Check your pH, your alkalinity, your stabilizer, your chlorine. I think 4, I don't know, ADHD, Brush the pool daily. Take advantage of vacuuming to filter shock the regular shock once a week.